Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, everyone in between and adjacent, welcome to the Rush Rundown, what I believe is the first and only 10-minute testing ripoff for Rush Duel. Today on the Rush Rundown, we're taking a look at a deck that's really making a splash. One you could say that is a whale of a good time. A deck that could be leaving your enemies lost at sea. Please allow me to introduce to you Sea Serpents.
At least the ocean will never leave me. Right, Ocean?
This is the part of the video where I tell you to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. Now, despite what the deck builder says, we are going over the Sea Serpents deck. Apparently, kids, serpent's a bad word. Don't let your teachers catch you saying that at school. So the Sea Serpent deck is actually really interesting. We have a mix of kind of different styles of decks that all kind of come in this one package. We have a really nice advantage loop, we have a really nice burn loop, and then we also have big bodies to back all that up. Here at the start, right before we do our card by card, we always start with the skill. Our skill is Territory of the Sea Serpent King. If you activate all monsters you construct deck are water attribute monsters, and all the monsters except low 2 to 4 monsters are Sea Serpent type monsters. The original attack of one face to low 7 or higher monster in your field will be up 2,900 at the end of this turn. If there is no card in your field zone, you can also set one Umi from your deck or graveyard to your field zone once per duel. Long story short on the skill, basically, every monster outside the level 2 to 4s must be a Sea Serpent. Every monster in your deck must be water, except the extra deck. And then, if you don't have Umi, it sets you an Umi once per duel. Now, the skill isn't perfect. It basically only really insulates us to having even bigger bodies on board, which, while yes, that is the game plan, isn't exactly a game-winning plan. However, we have another theme. I mentioned at the top, a burn strategy within this deck. You might be surprised that a water deck does burn, but let's go over the card by card and maybe you'll pick it up. First off, we have our limit 3 monster, the Sea Dragon King Grand Ganis. Level 8, 2,500. Of course, a water Sea Serpent. During the turn, you normal summon this card, inflict damage to your opponent equal to the number of spell trap cards in your opponent's field times 300. That's actually a pretty substantial burn amount. There are many ways to loop this card within this deck, so we can find ourselves in positions where we might be able to drop 2 of them in the same turn and essentially get massive burn damage onto the opponent and then swing at them for an even bigger guy for more damage. We're actually playing two tribute monsters. Our second one is one of my favorite cards in the game right now, Head Bat Chachalot, Kahoot, Level 7, 2,500, Water Sea Serpent. Send the top card of your deck to the graveyard. One face-up monster in your opponent's field loses 500 deck until the end of this turn. If you have face-up Umi or Big Umi on your field, also inflicts 500 damage to your opponent. Now, this card, while having a little bit more of a situational burn effect, is actually the premier burn card in this deck. I frequently found that looping this guy was way better than looping our Sea King. Of course, the issue there is the Sea King is more loopable in deck, which is something we will get to in a moment. Anyway, our next card, Sea Dragon Kleindros. Level 3, 1,000, Sea Serpent. If your opponent has a monster in the field, place one Sea Dragon King Grand Ganis or one Grand Extreme from your graveyard on the bottom of the deck, which is one fish or Sea Serpent type monster from your hand face up to your field, to only attack with water attribute monsters this turn. Now, that's why I was talking about before, where the Sea Dragon King is way more loopable, is we have this guy, Kleindros. Kleindros is really interesting where he can put a spent Sea Dragon King back into your deck, special summon a Cachalot, and then from there, you can just, if you have another guy, normal guy, tribute summon again. It's very nice for being able to loop the Sea Dragon as well as the Grand Extreme, which is our limit 1 card. We're going to get to that in a second. Overall, Kleindros is a really powerful card. We're on 2 Light Dolphin. You have Umi or Big Umi face up on your field, and you have Fish, Sea Serpent, Thunder, or Aqua type normal monster on your field. Draw 1 card. So this isn't like a tri-typing here down here. The Fish, Sea Serpent, Thunder, or Aqua type normal monster, that's not like a classic Yu-Gi-Oh! Tri-type. It's not like there's not a bigger archetype, you know, the way Tri-Brigades work in modern Yu-Gi-Oh! I just wanted to let you know. This guy's good because he just draws a card if we have any of our guys on field. So speaking of normal monsters, we have 3 Tacriminos and 2 Angler Coilfish. So unfortunately, Tacriminos here is the only 1,500 Sea Serpent. So in order to have, you know, some kind of board presence, I am playing 2 Angler Coilfish instead of the other kind of normal Sea Serpent guys. Honestly, you could just switch them out for weaker monsters if you just want all Sea Serpents for your normal lineup. But Light Dolphin specifically doesn't actually need, Light Dolphin, which needs the normal, works with these, like we were just talking about. Now we're right into our spell traps. Whoa, that's crazy. How are we already on our spell traps? It's barely any monsters. Well, we're on 1 Grand Extreme, limit 1. No requirement. Special 1 Fisher Sea Serpent type monster from your hand to face revealed. Then shuffle up to 5 monsters from your opponent's graveyard into the deck. This is a really cool card. Besides obviously being able to special any of our guys, we wouldn't really want to special King Dragon, the Sea Dragon King, unless we're like just gonna tribute them off. But this can basically cheat out your headbat. It can cheat out any of your guys if you just want to like put a guy out, or its second effect to shuffle back cards from the opponent's graveyard is really nice because it keeps them off a Talismanic Seal Array. It can keep them off like a 7's Road effect, basically nerfing down how much damage a 7's Road can do. It's also nice for disrupting light galaxy plays. So if you're going to basically get your opponent to a point where they can't just secret order their guy back out, and then one of their guys gets stranded in grave, you can then take Grand Extreme, shuffle it back into the deck. So if they do draw the secret order, it is just like a dead card. Our legend card of choice is the Pot of Greed. We love drawing 2 in this deck. Speaking of Pot of Greed, we're on 2 Clashing Twin Tides. Reveal 1 level 7 or higher, fish or Sea Serpent type monster in your hand, and shuffle it into the deck, draw 2 cards. We love Pot of Greed so much, we're on 3 of them. This card is exactly why I went nutso for the Sea Serpent deck on Reveal. This card is insane. This card is so crazy. It's literally Pot of Greed. We're on our Court Ordered Talismanic Seal Array, 3 MST, 1 Big Umi, 2 Regular Umi, negate attack for Electric Trap, Buffered Slime, and Forever Freeze. Extra check doesn't matter. These are just blanks. Just so the opponent does not know what we're on. Anyway, that was the card by card. I kept hinting at it. We have a lot of things to talk about after the game. So let's hop right into those so we can get this show on the road. Alright, here we are, game number 1, and our opponent is on Psychics. Wow. Blast from the past. Haven't seen Psychics in a long time. You can see we open pretty weak. Slime, a tribute guy, and 1 normal monster, along with MST. Not great. But off the top, we go ahead and draw another guy. Thankfully, we have 2 bodies, so we're just going to go ahead and set our entire hand. Passing over the opponent, we're feeling pretty good. We did intuit that they're on Psychics, pretty obviously that they had the Roman skill, so we were kind of fine putting our guys in defense position. So they went ahead and foolished a Candy off their skill, normal summon I'm a Lilith, side pick up our effect, gain their life points, set a card. Milling Prima Guitar off the top is very scary, but that was all their turn was, setting 2 cards and passing. They also crashed and attacked Raminos for a little bit of damage, and then hey, this hand goes hard Balacho. However, we go ahead and activate the Pot of Greed. Find the Clashing Tides, go ahead. Clashing Tides, go Pot of Greed again, and then we find another tribute guy. Not what we want to see. So we're going ahead and tribute 2 monsters. Summon out our Cachalot, setting Umi, setting him to 2900, flipping the Umi. And we're just gonna go ahead, lower that guy down, minus 500, take that burn, set a card, and we're big chilling. We're just gonna do a little back row check, swing in, and we notice there's no response. So we're just gonna get our guys in and pass it up. We're getting the opponent pretty low, but keep in mind this is Psychic, so they could just gain like 1,000,000 health at any point in the game. Gonna activate their skill again, pitching another Prima Guitar for the bear. That's really bad for us. So go ahead and activate the bears, summon out the Candy, and oh my god, that was fusion in the back row. But we're a little confused what they're doing here until we remember that side pickupper's in the grave. I actually forgot while doing this game. I did forget the same way I just forgot there. And then this is part that confused me. So they go ahead, they add fusion, some Candy, and like, okay, cool. This is all good. Candy all, bring back the side pickupper. All right, now we're going to pick up our effect, of course, gain a life, hit Slime, which is really nice for us. Fusion summon the Candy live. Now here's where Candy live summons the, oh, where's Prima Guitarna? Oh, they decide not to summon Prima Guitarna. Instead, they want to just kill us immediately. And that runs into our 3 back row. Cool. Thank you for that one, opponent. Anyway, so draw again, and we see a even better hand than before. We're going ahead and Clashing Tides, putting back the Sea Dragon, Tribute summoning the second Chachalot. Going ahead and set a guy. Chachalot effect, burn. Chachalot effect, burn. And we go, alright, cool. Talismanic Seal Ray. If that back row is nothing, we do just win the game immediately. And we'll go ahead and resolve the Talismanic Seal Ray. Lower them down. Activate the skill. You know, there's not some kill, quite like overkill. Go ahead and swing in. Oh my god, that was negate attack. Oof, that is bad for us. They have a massive field, and we only have one back row to basically contest this. Gonna activate their skill again, adding a side pick up from Grave, pitching the Rhythmical Performer, tribute the side pick upper. Pick up her effect, gaining some more life. Candy Live, gaining 1,000 instead of doing anything else is strange, but does keep them alive from getting hit by a Chachalot. However, of course, they should know that our Chachalot is in Grave right now. We did shuffle it back with Talismanic Seal Ray, apparently. Sorry I missed that. I'm going ahead and activate the Grand Extreme, summoning out the Chachalot we drew, and we're going to go ahead and put back all those good targets for them. Put back 2 premium targets, and then also put some more bricks in there for them. Go ahead and activate the effect, burn them again, pump up again, and swing in for gain. Well, we're very lucky they didn't find any back row, and also they made a pretty bad misplay not to have a well set up board, I'll be honest. But hey, a win against a meta deck is a win against a former meta deck, I guess. Alright, here we are, game number 2, and our opponent is on Gaia Hero. It's gotta be one of my favorite decks, this new format, this Gaia Hero deck. It's just so slick. You see our hand wasn't great. We went in Clashing Tides. Hopefully found something good on the top, and yeah, being able to set more guys is good for us, but we frankly don't have much of a play for next turn unless we draw something really good off the top. They lead Argent, go ahead and reveal Flame Wingman, and they have a beautiful negate attack. Oh my god, look at that. Yeah, so they completely whiffed that one. That was actually pretty insane. I was actually really losing my mind live seeing them whiff that completely. And we draw, and this is a fine hand. Basically what we gotta do is summon the Sea Dragon. From here we can get the Umi from deck, so we're going to go ahead and turn 29, get the Umi, then we can just normal summon our Terrakinos or our Light Dolphin, maybe draw a card, maybe just do some damage. Alright, we're gonna go for the card draw here and go ahead and draw one card, and it's not really much, but hey, that's fine if they matched out our Sea Dragon King. Up in the back row, it was a Talismanic Seal Ray swinging in, and it's like, oh my god, they opened double Avian. They just need to find one Burst into Tricks, and they could have done something off that Argent. But they are in a pretty winning position with an Avian left on field. This is where it kind of reveals us they are on the Gaia stuff. Tribute the Chain Slime, activating the effect, boosting the Cursed Dragon, adding the Poly, adding the Avian back to hand. Oh no, big worried if they go ahead and summon Flame Wingman, Burst Wingman. Here we go. Fusion Summon, they did draw a Burst into return for the OG Flame Wingman. Normal summon another Avian, and they're just gonna go combat. Okay. OG Flame Wingman over there, burn us, swing over Light Dolphin, and then I can't help but notice that they didn't out the Sea Dragon King. Okay, cool. We're starting our turn with the 2700 guy on field. Amazing draw right now, so we're going to have Grand Extreme, summon out the Chachalot, put back the... we're not putting back any cards that, like... Alright, hold on. We're not putting back any cards that interrupt them, really. We're putting back cards that we're hoping they brick on next turn. The Territory Seeking, boost them to 31, Chachalot, boost them down, take 5, and let's just go battle and swing in. No response here, so we're just going to go ahead and swing in and maybe game? No, we are off by 200. Alright, passing to the opponent. And keep in mind, we are low. We're at 1900. A Flame Wingman being able to swing over any of our guys is literally just game on the spot. First Stintrix comes down and, oh, I guess the draw was not that good. Yep, they normal send the Burst Stintrix, crash in, and we win. But listen, crashing in is better than crashing out, and I am very grateful that we were able to take a game off the best deck in the room. Alright, here we are, game number 3, and you know what that means, a 1v1 versus Cyber Dragon. Now, our bit here is running low. What I mean is, it's really hard to do this when 90% of the ladder is just Gaia and Gaia adjacent decks, and Cyber Dragon isn't even that good in the format. But hey, I managed to find one Cyber Dragon game so I can keep the bit going for a little bit longer. Anyway, we are going second, and you can see our hands okay. We are pretty much going to Chachalot pass at this point. They open Pot of Greed, and they just go ahead and set almost their entire hand, leaving one card in the hand. I can only imagine that that's probably a Cyber Dragon. At this point, I didn't know what the opponent's playing. I'm just kind of guessing at this point. That's a Cyber Dragon. We're going ahead and normal summon Takraminos, normal summon our little guy here, pop the back row, and hey, MST the MST, whatever. Tribute summon, boost, get Umi, activate the Umi, set a card, and then we're just gonna go battle and see what we can find here. And hey, Worker, Warrior, new recruit. That kind of read to me that, oh, maybe it's Earth Machine, then they flip up the Proto Cyber Dragon, and I realize, oh, it's Cyber Dragon. This really scared me. This really scared me. When they summoned all three Cyber Dragons, I was like, oh no, if they have Cyber and I lose. But what they did instead is they tribute summon Cyber Assault Dragon. And I think they realized a very hard lesson. First of all, they can't shuffle back Proto Cyber Dragon to pop my monster. And also, monsters that fulfill the Cyber Dragon skill mod check. Monsters that fulfill the Cyber Dragon skill mod check. That's right. Umi, on field, floodgates them from activating their skill. Go ahead and draw for turn, and we draw a dead Pot of Greed, but whatever. Chachalot lower them down. We build the big Umi. Normal summon our guy, normal summon our guy. Just get the beaters out, set some cards in the back row. Keep this Pot of Greed in hand for next turn. Boost us up to 3,100. Swing over some dudes. We're going to swing over there, and we're just going to go ahead and crash into this and get that Cyber Assault out of our game. Alright, the opponent has 2 cards in hand, though. That's pretty worrying. They draw for turn. Set 1. Normal summon the Worker Warrior. Normal summon another guy. I'm going to tribute summon the Ancient Golem, but we have the Forever Freeze, sending that guy right back to the deck. This card has not been better recently. Go ahead and activate the Clashing Twin Tide, shoving back the Sea King that we drew since we already got 2 of them. Activating our MST, popping the middle. It is Puffered Slime. We're not really in slime range, but I'm sure they would pretty much like to have that. Let's just go battle and swing in, because this is game on board. 17 in, 31 in. It looks like all they were relying on is that Puffered Slime stay. And we dominate the Cyber Dragon player. You love to see it. So we're back with the deck, and hey, that's pretty good, right? Well, let's go over the pros and cons. First, the cons. This deck is very bricky. You saw those hands we were drawing in those games and said, wow, we need something playable off the top, or else we just do nothing. And of course, I only featured the games where I drew something playable off the top. Despite the fact that we are on 3 copies of Pot of Greed, we still sometimes struggle to even find them along with our tribute monsters. As well, our deck is very one note. If the opponent is just setting into us, yeah, we can clear their guys pretty much no matter what they are set, but we're not doing any damage. We're not putting any pressure on. We need to be using the effects of our guys, but Chachalot here can only lower monsters' attack and then burn. He can't just burn. And Sea Dragon is kind of iffy to get out. Yeah, he's just a tribute guy. Yeah, we can recycle him, but he can't be special, meaning he's kind of anti-synergistic with our Kleindross and Grand Extreme, which is weird considering he's featured on the art of Grand Extreme, but maybe that's an anime thing I'm just not really understanding. Also, our little guys are it's rough out there. Yeah, we need to see them because we need to play these kinds of guys to even summon these dudes in the first place and have any kind of game plan, but we often either see too many of them or don't see them at all. As well, despite my love of saying big Umi when I'm playing this deck 5 and when I was doing the game commentary a second ago, this card is really bad. This card is actually awful. A lot of the games I didn't include, I ended up losing because of this card breaking my hand. Drawing the big Umi instead of like any monster to summon is often what killed me most of the time. Another thing, the stat changes from Umi aren't really that significant unless you're specifically fighting Cyber Dragon. So with all that said though, there are some pros. Headbed Cachalot is a really strong card. This card is really, really good. The consistent non-once per turn minus 500 attack and then the 500 burn is really good. The stat boost putting him to 2900 and then most likely putting him even further above 3k if Umi's on board is really strong. If anything, this Cachalot here is like the star of the deck. The problem is the deck around him is just kind of mid. The skill, while good, is a once per duel effect, meaning despite the fact that it is good, it is crazy to be able to set your field spell from the deck. Doing it once means if it's outed, we just kind of lose. As well, this deck just doesn't really fit well in the meta. I know I want to talk about the pros, but our only pro is Cachalot. Let me just go back to the cons, okay? This format is really rough for a deck like this. The back row just doesn't survive. It just does not survive Gaia Hero. Like I was saying, the big beaters are fine if we're getting the opponent to actually play things in attack position. But honestly, with all that said, I did have a lot of fun playing this deck. I did play it live on my stream, so there should be some footage of live games sometime next week coming out on the channel. So keep a lookout for that. I did have a lot of fun playing the deck. And I think if you do love the big beater kind of gameplay style, I think you might like this deck too. It's just maybe not the version we have here is the most optimal version of the deck, but there is hope. All that said, not to doom on the deck. This is a whole lot of fun. It's just not right for the current format. Anyway, I would like to thank you for watching this video. And like always, if there is a deck you would like to see me feature on the series, go ahead and leave that in the comments below. Thank you again so much for watching. Goodbye.